Today, I'll explain something that is very common, and I'm sure many of you will recognize it once I break it down. A good place to spot these narcissistic behaviors is often in mothers. This is because society conditions women to be excessively nurturing and self-sacrificial as mothers. In striving to meet these expectations, they end up compromising their own boundaries, which opens the door for narcissistic, parasitic energy to feed off them and use them for its own gain. A helper female narcissist often has a network of other narcissists who seem to feed off of her. You might see her being used by them for favors, and this diverts your attention from the fact that you're dealing with the narcissist herself. This can feel like a flash of light that blinds you. You see her being so good and so giving, and you also see others feeding off her, which can be almost jaw-dropping behavior that blinds you. It's like a black box and white box together, creating a blindness. The reality, however, is that the helper narcissist is being used by these other narcissists to create a feeding system for her own energy parasite. Of course, these other narcissists also have their own networks, feeding their own narcissistic energy parasites. It's like a cloud, where all narcissists are feeding off this energy. In the physical world, they might seem upset with one another, like when there's a conflict between them, but it's all part of the illusion and the game in physical reality. The answers, as always, are in the energy dimension. Now, because the helper narcissist is used so much, giving so much, and becoming exhausted, she has excuses for being abusive toward those close to her, like her spouse and kids. She's exhausted from all the helping and giving, and when you even suggest that she could let go of some of that, her emotional nuclear bomb goes off. You quickly learn that you can never mention this subject again. You exhaust yourself trying to help her, thinking that maybe if you help more, she'll finally rest and there will be peace at home. But the more you run, the more you help, and the more you give, the more she and those other narcissists want. The system feeds itself. The helper narcissist is covered by other narcissists, and now she acts upset that they've hurt her. You look at the situation and get angry at all these other people. You get frustrated and talk badly about them because you're loyal to the helper narcissist, and of course, it angers you because they hurt her, and you care about her and your family. But what you don't realize is that you're being used as a tool in her hands to devalue the other narcissists. This devaluation lasts only for a short time because the system will recover. She'll go back to them, and they will return to her. They all benefit from this dynamic. Everything makes more sense when viewed from the perspective of narcissistic consciousness. This consciousness uses the programming of the mother figure, who is supposed to be overly giving and empathic. Often, she doesn't even realize she's manipulating because the narcissistic consciousness is directing her actions. To her, she's just being a good person, a good mother, trying to meet these expectations. In many cases, this programming comes from religious narcissistic beliefs that promote martyrdom, encouraging women to seek mistreatment from their family and society. It's harmful, but it's true. The narcissistic consciousness directs the person to act in ways that appear good, even if it's detrimental to their well-being. These other people involved in this system also have their own reasons for doing so, which often seem noble or justifiable to them, like loyalty or the desire to help. But in reality, they are being dragged into the narcissistic feeding system by chains of loyalty. The energy of narcissism pulls them, using their good intentions or beliefs to keep them trapped. The helper narcissist creates these situations where everyone around them gets involved in helping, giving, and even conflict. This affects not just their family but also onlookers, neighbors, and friends who get pulled into the drama. The reach of this system is enormous. If you think of narcissism as a parasitic energy or consciousness, you can see how each person involved feeds that consciousness. Even those who are not directly involved are dragged into it by the stories and drama. When you're affected by this energy, you can see how it spreads and grows. It becomes stronger and holds on to people even more tightly. Remember, when you get dragged into these kinds of dramas, you feed this energy. You become more connected to it. When someone gets upset that you're not following along, it's the energy speaking through them. Recognizing this helps prevent you from getting dragged into these dramas. Take care of yourself and be mindful that each time you're pulled into this, you're feeding the system. You can't bring peace into such a system, you can only have peace if you step away from it. This energy is too strong to be pacified. So, remember, when you get involved in these situations, you're feeding into this dynamic. Recognize it for what it is, and take the necessary steps to protect your energy.